Hi, I'm Sami, and this is the Career Kickstart Show. And today I am bringing you Bree. Now, Bree runs Tarot with Goddess Bree. Now, Bree's actual first name is something that every time I try to say, it turns out Briankova or Briankinini or Briankovich, and that is not at all what her name is. Now, Bree, can you say your name for me?
Yes, I can. It is Briannica.
Briannica, which when she says it, I can say it outright, and then in my head, it becomes like 10 different words. So thank you, Bree. Now, I met Bree and at the Bansko co-working space where I've been doing a marathon of interviewing a bunch of people. And the funny thing about me and Bree is that everyone thinks we're the same person. Like, I've literally gotten calls from other coworkers here being like, we can't find you, Bree. And I'm just like, well, you really can't find Bree because this is Sami. But I hope you do find Bree.
And we're neighbors.
And we're neighbors.
And we're doppelgangers.
And we're doppelgangers.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's really throwing off all these Europeans to have two American redheads in one space. Thank goodness I have glasses, or else it would be like a complete Parent Trap situation. Full on. Now, what we're going to talk about today is a little bit about how Bree got into doing tarot, energy healing, all the stuff online. But I'm really curious to know more about how you build a successful tarot business online and a little bit more about that. But before I get into the nitty-gritty of online tarot business, Bree, how about you just give a little bit of a nutshell about your business and what you do?
Well, my business and what I do, so I am a tarot reader and tarot teacher. I am an energy healer. I'm a soul guide, and I'm also a spiritual business coach as well. As I've moved forward in my business, which I've had about 3 years now with no job or supporting job or anything of that nature, I realized, the need for all the spiritual entrepreneurs around me who really deeply desire to start a business. One of their main issues is that they have a really hard time packaging their spiritual products. You know what I mean? So basically, when you're a spiritual entrepreneur, or just really spiritual in general, which is pretty ambiguous word, but just for, just the ease in words, we'll just continue forward. It's like a very up there, metaphysical, open, experimental, expansional realm, right? And as a spiritual business coach, or not just a spiritual business coach, but as a spiritual entrepreneur, you are basically taking something that is so beautiful and out there and expansive and ethereal, and you are trying to bring it down to earth. You know what I mean? And give it roots, quite literally. You know what I mean? You're basically going out and finding these messages from guides, guardians, sun, and masters. You know what I mean? That you're basically going out there and searching for messages, and then you're bringing them back to the people. So that's kind of where I did end up finding out that I had a niche for assisting spiritual entrepreneurs in business. But my first love is tarot, for sure, which I actually started doing when I was about 12 years old. And I came across tarot at a garage sale, actually. And it was right after I had discontinued or removed myself from a very religious background, which was actually being a Jehovah's Witness. So, a lot of people, when they have had very certain kind of religious upbringings, are very, very fearful of divination tools. And for me, it was just a complete opposite. It was in every way, shape, and form. I picked it up, and I just it's almost like in Harry Potter where he touches his wand or whatever, and it's oh, you know what I mean?
You're a wizard, Bree.
You're a wizard. Oh my God, I really wanted to be a wizard. You know what I mean? And it was quite literally, and that was way before that movie came out, but that's exactly how I would describe it. I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, I just feel like I have something to access to something now that I didn't previously have access to. I have a understanding, a knowing, a way to connect in a way that I never did before. And it would just fill me with total joy and bliss and excitement. And I've been doing it ever since.
Well, I mean, and that's awesome because you're a wizard, Bree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bree, before you became a full-time wizard,
But
what were you doing for work?
oh gosh, I think I've done every single job on my bucket list. I've been a makeup artist
Okay.
for Lancome. I've been a full-time nanny, and I pursued a lot of different sales jobs. So I would say that my three favorite things in life are probably sales, psychology, and spirituality. So
Then your current business is a perfect intersection of these, but I'm not going to lie, I really wish that you would have said like accountant or something
No.
super boring. And been like, yeah, one day I was cooking the books and I was just like, fuck it, I'm a wizard.
Fuck it. No, and that did kind of happen though. That did kind of happen. It was kind of strange. I ended up having actually, it was right after I went to yoga school. I went to yoga school, graduated. It sucked the life out of me. It wasn't a bad thing. It transformed me as a human being. But right after that, I became a makeup artist to pay the bills. And then like my whole entire life fell apart right after that. So it did actually come down to a moment where I had actually just like, we won't even go into it, but lost basically everything. Lost my boyfriend, lost, my car, lost my
Country
house,
song.
country song status, and I mean, I was in the depths of despair. I had never in my life ever experienced so much pain. And it was definitely coming down to a point where I was like, holy crap, Brie, like, I honestly am like, do you want to kill yourself? Like, something that really came up for me, like, genuinely, and I'm not, joking around about it. But, I've always said to myself, like, that's never an option, and stuff. But I got to that moment for sure. And when I did, I was like, Bree, you know what? If you have to be on here for one more second, you need to do only what makes you happy. What makes you more happy than anything in this world? Point blank right now, what is it? Go. And it was like tarot. Okay, and then I was like, okay, cool. And then like right that day, I literally started making tarot videos. And then I noticed myself getting a little inconsistent with the tarot videos, and I was like, cool. Well, I need to be accountable. So that was like kind of a little bit of time after Facebook Live started to come out, but before the saturation of the whole tarot market happened. And I just went out there and I was like, fuck it, I'm going out there, I'm doing live readings. I don't care if I'm wrong, I don't care anything. Like, I'm going out there, I'm helping people in the way I think that they need help. I'm gonna go out there, be myself, speak my truth, and just like the crowd went wild. I've had a business ever since. I quit my other job that I had for within like 2 months of having my business, and I haven't had a job since.
Fabulous. See, what I like about this, Bree, is because weirdly enough, we have similar origin stories.
Of course, we're sisters.
I also had that moment of losing everything, the partner being a sad country song, and realizing a lot of shit needed to change. And a business kind of came a little bit later, but that's when I started working at a nonprofit. Changed a bunch of shit in my career. And the thing is that sometimes one of the most powerful things that you can do is burn the boat and see what happens.
Burn the boat and take burn the boat, take the island.
There you go. First you burn the boat, then you take the island, then you get the women. I'm not kidding. So,
or men, whatever.
You know what? Life's a garden, baby. Dig it. So, so that's kind of how you started. Now, one thing that I've noticed, because, fun fact for the people who are listening, I do a lot in the online entrepreneur community. I've done LinkedIn trainings. And one thing I've noticed that there's a lot of people who have the dream of doing an online business, but it's one of those things where the dream and the reality can be difficult for people to kind of hop through. And before we started recording, we were talking about the need for consistency and the sort of things that we look for when we're trying to help people, whether like I'm doing an official or unofficial mentorship and everything. What do you feel like is, for folks who do want to be spiritual entrepreneurs, what is something that you feel like is a big weakness that you see for a lot of newbies, or what's one thing that they get wrong? Like, you get what I mean.
Just not showing up.
Yes.
With it, they just have excuses, and I have nothing against that. I so get it, and I so have been there. It's just with the whole back to the burn the boats, take the island kind of thing, is that's the reason I have not had another job since I quit my job, because I refuse to do anything but my work. And when you have these kind of backup plans for yourself, when you're trying to have a job and work the business, or it's just like a million things can get in the way. You can always use an excuse, but when you literally, your rent and your your ability to eat has everything to do with it, guess what you do? You get out there, you fucking pitch, you put out the products, you create content. You know what I mean? So I mean, just very strategically, that's why I've never decided to get any sort of a backup plan. But yeah, people definitely need to just put aside the excuses and just show up, because when you do, and you do so consistently, you're going to change people's lives, and then you're just going to feel way more motivated to do it, and the sales are going to come in, and then it all just builds momentum from there, for sure.
I would agree with that, because it's one of the things that I think a lot of people worry about, is that it's not perfect in the beginning. The thing is that in the beginning, one, you might not have too many people who are watching, so it honestly does not matter. Two, the people who are, there's an authenticity that you bring to the table oftentimes when you're new that people respond to. And also, three, you're not going to get better unless you actually practice that, unless you get comfortable. Now, when I have worked with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, because I have, like, most of them I have to tell them that LinkedIn's not really the place, but I give them some good advice on how they can create a landing page there, essentially, and stuff on some Facebook that can help them. But I've noticed that a lot of them, they get very, like, starry-eyed about what they should actually put out there, and they want to work with everybody, and they don't want to charge things, or it's like either they don't want to charge anything, or they want to charge an extreme amount, and there's not anybody in the middle.
Can I change my answer?
Yes.
To that, that's exactly it. No one wants to charge, or if they do, they just do some crazy ass extravagant amount where it's like, I'm claiming my power, I'm claiming that money, and I'm just like, I agree. Fuck yes. Okay, we're on the right track here, but you don't have a following to back up that price point. So let's just reel it back just a little bit. You know what I mean? Not that I've ever stopped anyone from putting out any price point that their full on double rainbow said yes to. I'm all about it, but oh yeah, that would definitely a lack of charging. People will be out there working 500 billion groups or something, like, half of my clients, and they'll be like, I'm just not ready yet or something, Bree. But then I see them putting out all this amazing work and connecting with people and the content, and then never asking for the sale. And people would, I mean, I know that my clients that I work with are just like, they always come to me when they need help with making money, but I know that they don't associate with me any form of like greed or anything. It's just like, my livelihood depends on the money I make, and therefore I have to ask for the sale, and I have to create products, and I have to do this stuff. So I have that's very specifically why people come to me a lot of time, but that's really the biggest thing. Anyway, sorry. Well, that's the really biggest thing.
And it's interesting that you talk about the greed component. I've talked to some people about this, and I've been kind of like, if you are helping somebody in a very intimate way, and there's not some sort of exchange or equilibrium made, then they always feel a little bit in debt to you in some sense if you really help them. So if you can be like, here is this simple way where we can balance these scales and everything like that, that helps people so they can like get what they need, disconnect, and move along with their life, When you're working with these folks, like, you use Facebook a lot, and I feel like Facebook and Instagram are really ideal platforms for this. One thing that I thought was a very interesting tidbit before the episode, that's why I had to like pretty much shut Bree up and be like, I'm recording, because we were getting to a lot of good stuff before this even started. But you said one of the things that you have like a non-negotiable with your private business coaching mentoring clients is that they need to be willing to do a Facebook live stream. Why do you feel like that's so important?
Oh my God. To me, that's everything. Well, it comes down to a couple of things. Your ideal client, you're going to want them to have some things in common with you. You're going to want them to be their own individual person for sure. But there's going to be certain things that they need to do to show up. And what I feel like, if someone's not willing to make lives or videos, they're saying to me, Bree, I would like to make a lot of money, but I still want to hide. And I'm like, like, no. No, 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 no. We're not, we're not doing that. Either you show up fully or not at all. You know what I mean? Either you show up fully or you don't get to work with me. So there is a couple things I do to really help. I know some of my clients that desire to be business owners have a lot of confidence issues as well, right? They're going out there for the first time. They're putting their dreams out there. They're putting their heart on the table. I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. So something that I do is I actually do lives with them, so that I can actually show them how to pitch without telling the audience that. I'll go live with them. And then I help them pitch their products so they can see how it's done and how to wrap it up really quick. Oh, okay, so Anne is selling, this and this, and it's really powerful for this reason, blah, blah. Anyway, back to readings now. You know what I mean? I basically allow them to get that input, in to be like, okay, this is how you sell when you're on the live. Another thing, I want to make sure that they feel confident enough to show up. And then the last thing I do is I know that they're going to need to make videos on their own time, so I help them create content for the videos themselves, of course, inspired by their own soul and their own needs, wants, and desires of what they're wanting to present to their clients. But I just understand that in business, and I'm okay with this. I really love doing this. You really have to provide baby steps a lot of times for your clients, or else they will come to you with the excuse of, but I didn't know how to do it. But I didn't know. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do next. And I was like, girl, I'm right. I am right here. So there's no way you can give me that excuse later. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And the reason I do that with my clients is because I want them to be successful. And the thing is that I've never had a client ever work with me in business ever one time who actually didn't make money. So that's something that I like. I don't necessarily do money back guarantees with my clients, but I basically tell them, I'm like, I've never not made money. So it would have to be like a highly unusual situation, but usually I can get my clients to actually start making money in the first week.
Yeah. And I feel like that is one.
Thank you.
Golf clap, because that's amazing. Speechless. But also too, I feel like it's very important for folks, like for me, like I do a lot of videos, I do a lot of blogging, I do a lot of podcasting, because I feel like whatever you're training, coaching, advising, teaching, mentoring on, you have to showcase your personality. One of my biggest pet peeves among career coaches is how often they hide behind the we, as if it's not one lady and her cat and sometimes her stepkid that might have made her website, and it's like random coaching company where we take care of your career. It's like, no, it's just you. People need to know you to feel comfortable with job hunting. People might not think about it, but it's like a vulnerable, intimate sort of thing where you have to talk to somebody about, I did good or I did bad, or, oh, here's the real reason behind this gap in my, employment and everything. So doing videos, doing this content, it helps people, one, know you and feel comfortable with you. I would assume it's the same thing with any spiritual
I would assume it's the same with anything. They have to see you, feel you, your personality. That's going to be your best sales pitch right there, which you could go without even saying a sales pitch in it. You know what I mean? If you want it, but I would never suggest that. Always sales pitch. You know what I mean? But no, they need to see your personality. They want to be like, is this chick going to get me to the next level? Do I resonate with her? Can she help me? Yes, 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 yes. You put out videos, they're going to be able to see that really quick. With written content, sometimes, obviously, there's so many bloggers. Obviously, there's so many successful writers out there. So that's not saying that they can't. But however, not everyone can tell a story and almost bring you into the moment, like, you know, Katrina Ruth or something, you know what I mean? When I read her post, it's like I'm listening to her talk, you know, and I can feel it, you know what I mean? Not everyone can do that to that level, and it's not even so much about that, is that she doesn't have a fear about showing up, so it comes out in her writing that she doesn't care, you know, she doesn't have a fear of showing up. So it's not necessarily the writing versus videos, it's, are you hiding behind your words, or are you showing the fuck up? You know what I mean? So I guess I really shouldn't say it's a writing video thing. It's that I know for sure if my clients are willing to make videos, that they're willing to show the fuck up, because that's the public speaking, quote unquote, is what people are definitely afraid of.
Well, and it's also a medium where, like, for those who are wondering who the fuck is Katrina Ruth, Katrina Ruth is a business, life coach, manifest your powerful self sort of person. And the thing is that for a lot of folks, like, they need to kind of create the content that's kind of similar to what their services are. Like, you're probably not going to do a tarot reading or a Reiki thing written style. Like, I don't think that really is the thing, but, like, I don't really know too much about Reiki. So I don't know how you deliver that.
Is it a package?
Yeah, like
selling?
Yeah, like, I assume that it can't be done in written form. It all has to be through video so people can get an idea of how you do the thing.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that before, but no, I would never do that myself.
Because I feel like that'd be kind of odd. Like, you get a recipe instead of the actual food. But yeah, so anyway, tangent. But Bree, so when you are, like, working with folks and everything like that, because if you go to Bree's page, which is facebook.com/tarot with Goddess Bree. Like, how do you feel like, since you have been doing so much on Facebook, like, do you feel like this is a really good platform for people? Like,
it is for me, you know, and I finally started branching out to Instagram a little bit, and now actually I'm just now starting the process of tying all the different social media sites together. At any point, even into Google, if you just type in tarot with Goddess Bree, I'm the only one in the world that's always going to pop up, so that's how you can get a hold of me in any way, shape, or form. Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, obviously, but yeah, for me personally, it's all about Facebook, you know, and the thing is the reason that Instagram is switched a little bit is now there's so much more video content and video aspects to the app. So I'm a video girl. Like, I'm just like, you know, you know, I'm gonna be honest, and a lot of people out there will try to shoot themselves in the foot, say that they have certain things that they're not very good at. Like, I'm dyslexic, you know what I mean? Like, you should have seen my post from a couple years ago. Like, there would be so many spelling errors, it's not even funny. In fact, even when I put out business posts once in a while now, my mom will call me and be like, you spelled this wrong, you did this punctuation wrong, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I just want people to think you're professional. I'm like, I am fucking professional because I'm showing up as my fucking self and no one else has the balls to do that. So I'll do whatever the fuck I want, Mom. Just kidding. You don't know. You know, but then at the same time, so I definitely do a lot of written posts, but I predominantly, it is going to be in my personal best interest, the easiest for me, the funnest for me. If I show up in video platforms and Facebook, it just does that the best for me.
And what I really like is that you're all about showing up as your authentic self, showing up as who you are for your clients. Do you find that they resist that in a spiritual business, or what's the deal?
Like, for them personally, do they resist showing up fully? Absolutely. That's one of their biggest fears, for sure. As far as me showing up fully, like, I mean, to be honest, I use the F word a lot in my videos, like, you know, and even though I'm like very light and creative and open and you know what I mean, I, you know, say cuss words a lot because I just do, because I can do whatever I want because I'm me. And my mom again, mom, you know what I mean, but my mom will be like, you know, Bree, you shouldn't use the cuss words so much in your videos. They make them less relatable. And I'm like, no, honestly, that's actually not true. And anyone who doesn't want to work with me because I say a cuss word or something, that's not my ideal client, and I don't want them working with me. I don't want to work with anyone who is not going to embrace that I am my true, authentic self all the time. That's it. Because at the end of the day, if you're not your true self and you just slip up or something, you're, you know, let's say I just stop cussing or something or whatever, And then all of a sudden I have a client and we're having a one-on-one and I say the F word on accident or something, then it's like, do you see how that could propel and gain momentum into feeling guilt or fear or shame and being like, oh my God, how did I slip and say that F word? Like crap. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, what do they think of me now? Maybe they think I'm like less professional or like blah, 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 blah. It's like, you see how that can gain so much momentum so fast when you don't just show up as yourself. Like it will stop you from running your soul-led business. There's no way your business will eat you alive if you don't show up as yourself. That thing won't last more than a year, maybe 2, before you get so worn down by trying to uphold this person that you aren't even are, you know what I mean? That it will eat you alive. You will end up, trashing the business at some point. So
yeah, I would agree. Anything that is personally driven, anything that requires a lot of your heart in it, that's you teaching from your head, your soul, I don't know, your groin, whatever you're doing, you do need to be yourself, because 1, that's how you are different from other people in the market. Yeah. 2, that's how you filter people out, because if you're working with people you don't want to work with, you might as well have a job, and then you at least have income stability to kind of, get over the fact that you're working with randos and casuals you would run away from in the supermarket if you met them off the clock, So Bree, we've been chatting for a while now. Like, we're getting towards the end of the episode. We've already kind of mentioned a little bit about where people can reach you, but just let everybody who's listening, who wants to reach out, where can they find you on the web? How can they work with you? What's the skinny?
Okay, and any and all social media, just Tarot with Goddess Bree. You'll find me real quick. My full name is Brianna Dell. Okay, and again, I'm the only one in the world. I'm basically the only one in the world all over the place. So it's gonna be really easy to find me. But yeah, that's basically how you can find me. And I don't know, what was the question?
And do you have if somebody's interested in doing any sort of spiritual business mentoring, do they just send you a direct message on Facebook?
You would just send me a direct message or go on my business page, Goddess Bree or Tarot with Goddess Bree. You would just send me a personal message, and then basically, of course, I would talk to you and then be like, well, what do you need, want, desire? Like, how do you feel that I can help you? Because I'm definitely myself not going to get into anything where I'm not fully aligned and someone else isn't fully aligned, and we're not going to make tons of money together and have tons of fun. So there would be a series of questions. I wouldn't necessarily call it an interview, but I would definitely get down to the bottom of what's going on in your soul before we would start working together. But you can ask me about or message me about tarot, about energy healing. I have all pre-recorded classes on this. It is my passion. It is my life. It's my favorite thing to do. And also I have a whole business programs that I launch all the time on my business page and personal page on Facebook and Instagram.
Fabulous. Well, thank you, Bree, for being on my show. This was a very illuminating episode about spiritual business, so thank you.
Totally.
Thanks for joining me, and thank you all for listening. As always, I'm Sami Gardner, your career specialist. Bye. Change your career, change your life at CareerKickstartAcademy.com.